Hello, everybody, and welcome to Enter the Abyss.
It's actually a sunny day here in Utah. Those exist again. We're not being trapped underwater in snow.
Huh.
What do you think?
So we're drinking a little bit more, what would you call it?
It's more summery.
Yeah.
It's Wasatch Brewery SLC Salt Lime Cerveza. Oh, I see what they did there.
It's a little bit different, but it's good. Yeah, SLC, I like that.
It's interesting because it's Salt Lake City, but also Salt Lime Cerveza. I was like, hey, SLC. I like these. They're good for when it's really hot outside and you're doing some yard work.
I love it, but I don't hate it.
That was weird.
Whoa, that was weird.
I love it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what love means, Cleve.
What I was trying to say is I'm right in the middle here.
You don't love it, but
God
you don't
damn,
hate it.
this guy's an idiot.
I love this. I don't hate this. The world moves on.
Oh, Lord. All right.
But I'm doing yard work again. It's that time of year, and I love it.
I don't even want to talk about yard work right now.
No? I love yard work. Mowing the lawn.
Dig
Get
out
some
a
earbuds
fence,
in.
man. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Dig out a chain link fence when there's
No.
like trees growing in it?
No, but my house, I live kind of on the mountainside, and anytime I dig, there's just rocks. You want to come look at the side of my house? I've got mountains. You want some rocks? Does anyone want some free rocks? I'll send them to you.
Yeah.
Free.
Free?
Free.
All right, you're going to be broke soon. Any listeners that want a rock, let us
Just
know.
a rock. I'll send it to you. Of varying sizes and shapes.
You got any sparkly rocks?
Probably.
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I haven't watched any other scary movies lately. I still need to watch Knock at the Cabin, which you said you liked.
Yeah, I really liked that show. It was really good. I'm still not over how much I hated Evil Dead.
Yeah, you're wrong still. We've been watching Hoarders. Have you ever watched that show? That show gives me anxiety.
I've seen a couple episodes. Right now I'm watching Hell's Kitchen,
That's a good one.
which is pretty fun. I like it. I love
Gordon
all
Ramsay's
the drama.
crazy, man.
I love how people like talking to each other like, yeah, it's no problem. And they interview him like, that person's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I just want to hit him.
Yeah. People are angry on that show. But yeah, me and my wife do this thing where we just find like just the basic television, like Hoarders or whatever, and we'll just sit down and watch it. And then, we kind of go through it, binge it, and then we drop it cold turkey. So right now it's Hoarders.
Not a fan.
So it gives me anxiety watching some people's house. Like when they've got like dead mice and cats. Like this one guy was sleeping on his mattress with rat shit everywhere. It was disgusting.
Man.
Anyway, welcome to the Abyss. As we said, we are jumping back into Reddit with a brand new thread that is called People Who Had Stalkers. When did you first realize you were being stalked?
You ever been stalked before, Britton?
Not to my knowledge.
Oh, you
so either
have
I'm not
been.
very... oh, shit.
Yeah.
He's like, remember when you woke up in middle of the night?
Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you. I did an Amazon Flex delivery. I drove by your house like 3 in
really?
the morning. No, it was like 5. I was like tempted
Dude, that's
to like
a ways for you.
I was like tempted to go bang on your door and just like drive off. So
That's
like,
a ways for you, man.
can you imagine that 5 in the morning? Someone just bangs on your door. You got cameras.
I've
though,
got
right?
a camera.
You imagine seeing
I'm like,
me
nice,
run
clean.
up, just bang on your door, run to my car and drive. I should have done it.
He's like, he'll
should've
never
done
know
it.
it's me.
Should've done it.
You run away. I'm like, nice, Cleet. 3 a.m., you fucker. Really? Dude, that's
I'll
a
do
ways for you to do a delivery out in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, they pay all right though.
I don't know about that. Nice. Okay, so let's jump into it here, and we'll start with the first one. Oh, wow, that's a good first name. Dildo Smith. That was
we
a
all
good,
know a dildo Smith.
Yeah, it's the craft. I wanted a prom date in 1986. I ended up with a fucking psychopath. Oh. He was abusive as hell, and it took me 4 years to get away from him safely. I'd go to the police. They'd tell me he just liked me, wanted to date me. Yeah, fuck.
That's like
Good
such
work.
a
Good work.
1970s mindset.
He just is fond of you.
Oh yeah, but he's so standoffish. Maybe this is your fault.
Have you ever looked inside to see what you're doing wrong?
Maybe you just quit being such a bitch.
Christ. Totally awful.
Yeah, it's not okay.
I'd go to my parents. They'd say, it's not our problem. Holy shit, dude. What's wrong with everybody? I had to take extreme measures to get away from this guy. I tried to break up with him a few times. Once he jumped off the roof of the shopping mall and hurt his leg. Another time his friend called me and told me to look out of my bedroom window. There, Psycho Ass was. I love that name, Psycho Ass. Capitalized, too.
Did he have his radio? Tell me he had a radio. A boombox.
In a fucking tree with a rifle pointed at my little sister's bedroom window. Jesus, dude. I finally got rid of him in 1990 when he told me that only death would separate us. I faked an overdose of pills. I didn't take them all, but made it look like I had. I knew I'd be found. My roommate took me to the ER. I drank the fucking liquid charcoal. I told the psychiatrist on duty that my death was the only way to get away from this guy. Yes, I wasn't thinking clearly. Yes, it was a shitty thing to fake. Save your vitriol. Finally, someone listened to me and put me in touch with services and support so I could get away safely. He moves away at the end of summer. I'm free. Or am I? 1991, I get random shit in the mail. Carpet samples. Samples of Depends. Elvis commemorative plates. Just weird shit. I know it's him. Samples of Depends? Here's a diaper for you.
Diapers?
I'm in my first apartment. The apartment across the hall opens up. And who moves in? That's right, Psycho Ass. The building is for sale. Who buys the fucking building? Psycho Ass. I'm not kidding. He bought my apartment building.
Wait, this guy's loaded.
No idea where or how he got the money. I moved out in the middle of the night, took my shit, and ran.
Well, that changes things. Then you should date the guy.
A little bit. He's wealthy now. I get a new job. I get fired because of a customer complaint. I point out that the complaint was for a time when I wasn't working. Get a new apartment. My landlord calls me into the office to ask if I'm turning tricks in my apartment. Weird shit like that keeps happening. He keeps popping up and undermining my life. My friends, he tells everyone I date that he's going to kill them, that we're still dating, and I'm cheating on him with the new guy. By 1996, I've moved halfway across the country. It was awesome. He had no idea where I was, and I was so happy. Unfortunately, I had to move home in 1998, and he kept fucking with me. I would come home and all my radio stations would be turned one digit down, like 95.7 would be 95.5. Jeez Louise.
There's minor inconveniences.
He moved my salt shaker half an inch to the left and it fucked me.
He overinflated my tires.
He loosened the axles on one of them.
No, that's too far. Minor inconveniences.
Just one of the axles. There was an alarm clock in my closet that went off at 3 a.m. He let the air out of my tires. Hey, see?
You take a quarter of gas out of my tank every night.
Jeez.
Just a quarter every time.
Thankfully, a cop moved in upstairs, and then the fucking with stopped. I don't hear or see him until 2002. He fucking strolls into my work. I worked in a store. I quit immediately. I'm married by now. I tell my husband what's up. We move. The last time I saw him was in 2008. I was dropping my son off at a day camp. I hear my name across the street. It's Psycho Ass. He's got a camera with a long lens on it. Keep my cool. I ignore him. I go into the camp office and tell them there's a guy across the street taking pictures of the kids as they're being dropped off. They call the police.
Yes.
There's a bit of a dust up, and then he's thrown on the ground and driven off. That's the last I've heard or seen of him, and I hope he rots. Jesus Christ, man.
That's a horrible thing to lie about, but kind of appropriate for the culmination of all the...
For Psycho Ass, 100%. Good Lord.
That was a good story. All right.
So that was a long time, though, right? That it started in 1986 and then ended in 2002, dude.
I'm surprised.
Or 2008. Sorry, 2008.
I don't know, man. It seems like an interesting story. Almost unbelievable, but I'll believe it. All right, this next one is from Throwaway8419. I went to visit my dad out of state because I just really, really needed to get away from my extremely toxic mom and her family for a while. Toward the end of my vacation, I was like, I'm a legal adult. There's nothing stopping me from just staying here.
Isn't that one of the best feelings? Like, I'm suddenly an adult. And then you realize that adulting sucks ass.
I'm 18. Now I can say, fuck you. And I decided... Have you seen SLC Punk'd? Oh, man. It's a pretty good show.
I think it's with Matthew Lillard, right?
Scooby-Doo guy?
Yeah, Matthew Lillard.
I don't know. I just remember from Scooby-Doo. It was pretty good. I liked it.
Scooby-Doo guy? I've heard it's really good.
I don't know. I watched it when I was 10, so I'm not entirely sure if it's good.
When you were 10.
But I was in awe. It's an old movie. It's good, though. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It gets sad at the end. All right. I decided it was better for my mental health and overall well-being to just stay near my dad. My mom flipped her shit. I told her, I just really need some space. When I'm ready to talk to you, I'll call you. But they have no sense of boundaries, and so she and my half-sister constantly called my dad's house trying to get me back to live with them. My sister would call, hang up when I wouldn't answer, and then call again right away. So there would be 30 calls on her caller ID in a span of 30 minutes. When I wouldn't pick up the phone, my sister switched to bombarding my MySpace inbox with one insane message after another at 3 a.m. It's kind of creepy. I started noticing weird things around town. Cars I didn't recognize would slow down by me when I was walking. People that I had just met would suddenly know things about me and ask about my mom like they were trying to get info.
The fuck?
My mom called out of the blue one day and asked about my hair. When I lived with her, she always made me keep it long as a means of control. My hair is very thick, heavy on the dry side, so it would always be a nightmare to keep it down past my waist like she wanted. After I decided I was staying with my dad, one of the first things I did was chop my hair off super short. It felt great getting rid of it all, and I found out after all this time, my hair was actually curly. I never knew because all my hair weighed down the curls. So when my mom called and gave me this really bitchy, "How long is your hair now?" I don't know, I always have it. How long is your hair now? I just told her I cut it because it's my hair. Why? Why? You have people out here spying on me? She sputtered. What? No. I just asked because I'm your mom, and I could just feel that you cut your hair because moms always know the stuff about their children. Yeah, sure, whatever. After a year, my dad and I moved to a different house and never gave my mom, her family the new address. I never filled out a change of address form, but when my maternal grandmother sent me this really weird card in the mail, she addressed it to the old house. The post office wrote my new address on it and sent it back to her, and she resent it to my new place. After that, random cars would start showing up in our driveway and just sit there.
Goddamn post office.
Like, where are they getting the funds to stalk their daughter? We're going to get rental cars, a new rental car every day, and we're just going to sit there and smoke outside our driveway.
People will go to great lengths, man.
Our driveway wasn't lit. It was on a main road with a lot of traffic, and if you didn't know the driveway was there, you'd miss it. My friends would miss it even when they knew it was coming up, or they started parking on the side street because my driveway was such a pain in the ass. This wasn't the type of place where you get pulled in a turnaround, yet here were all these cars in our drive. My stepmom caught one as soon as she opened the door to ask, "Can I help you?" The car booked it and went off down the street. I had a job at a fast food restaurant to pay for college, and things were good until one day someone comes in and says in this sing-songy voice, "Oh, hi, throwaway. So good to see you."
Oh, my God.
I look, and there's this woman standing on the other side of the counter, and it took me forever to recognize her as my mom's sister-in-law. I didn't talk to her, but apparently she called my maternal grandmother and mom right away to let them know she found me and where I was working. Then mom packs her entire family, her parents, my half-siblings, my insane sister, her husband, their kids, everybody, and drove halfway across the country to show up at my job unannounced to. I don't fucking know what, but they were filming me with a video camera and with a whole crowd of them. I have a feeling my mom was attempting to gang kidnap me because she kept trying to get me to come out from behind the counter while they were all crowded around. I refused and wouldn't answer with anything but, "I'm at work and you need to leave.
Get the fuck out of here."
There's really no ending to this because even 13 years later, I'm still dealing with their bullshit. It's not as frequent as it used to be, but every once in a while, they can't help but try to send me a message through whatever means they can to try to contact me, like LinkedIn messages or something, just to be fucking annoying. Thankfully, I have a really great assistant that runs my work Facebook page, so not only does she catch all the crazy, so I don't have to see it, she gets a taste of their insanity firsthand, so there's some validation there.
Jeez,
my God.
Louise.
Like, they have like a $20,000 per year budget just to like rent cars and like park outside
Just
her
to
house.
fuck with her. Okay, this comes from Abort, Retry, Implode. When I got a text from a number I didn't recognize telling me to look outside. Not a good start. I lived in a first-floor apartment, and there were flowers and chocolates on my balcony. Motherfucker worked for IT and was in a position that he had access to the employee records, so he got my cell number and address out of it. What was even crazier was I told my upstairs neighbor to keep an eye out for him, and she said that he'd stalked her, too. Apparently, this guy just had a reputation for stalking every new girl in town. It was a smallish, medium-sized town. It escalated over the course of a year, but was quite frankly more absurd than terrifying because the stuff he did was just so bizarre. Finally had to get a restraining order against him. Well, damn.
All right, this one is from Lana33. This guy I met in a nightclub kept asking me where I live.
Red flag.
he does
Hey, I love this song. Hey, where do you live?
You're kind of pretty. Where do you live? What's your address?
Does this rag smell like drugs?
Does it smell like chloroform? It was a semi-small town, so I kind of gave vague directions, like by the school. Like,
I live over by the school.
I just met him. I didn't want to give him my physical address. It's like a natural thing to feel
100%
on the fence about. A week later, I found flowers in my car with no note.
Oh.
The next day, found candy, again with no note.
It's like a half-eaten Snickers bar. You're welcome.
At the end of the week, I found a note from the guy at the nightclub. He wrote that he found me and drove around all night, oh Lord, to see where my car was. He went on saying that he had been watching me and knows that I like what I like, and did his gifts please me. He told me that he was watching me go here and there.
No.
It started out like he was a romantic, but it kept turning creepy. At night, I started locking my car door. He would leave notes under my wiper blade. His notes were becoming more and more crazy.
Did you like the Snickers bar? Yes or no? Circle it and leave it under the tire.
Do you like me? Yes. Or like you're gonna die. Like some horrible.
The stupid elementary
Circle
school
one
things.
of these.
Do you want to go on a date? Y or N?
He was leaving dead roses or trash on my car. One good thing is that he did not go up to my door, but at the time my brother was living there and my father was home a lot. This took place in 1982 and had no cameras, and the cops did not take this serious since he did not cause any bodily harm. The last thing he left in my car was a wig styrofoam head painted up with my hair and eye color on it, with makeup on it as well, and a knife sticking in the head with fake blood running down it. This guy was a nut job.
To say the least. To say the fucking least. Lord. All right. This is from Isamajan. I don't know. Probably butchered that. My mother dated a man who turned out to be abusive. Once she ended this, he began to stalk us. In the beginning, I didn't have a license. Later on, when I did, he started stalking both of us. Some clues we found were seeing odd cars driving slowly in the neighborhood. This isn't a sign by itself, but when combined with the same cars being seen nearby at other times, we figured it out. He knew people who owned new and used car dealerships. Hey, maybe that's what the other family was doing too.
Oh, there you go. I wonder if he was like that serial killer too. Like when he'd like pass them when they're walking, he'd just do a Yui.
Yeah, just
and
like
then
over and
come
over again.
back. Yeah, 7 times.
I'm just trying to find a couple houses for sale. Don't mind me. We started hearing from friends about things we had done that no one would really know about. Like my mom may have visited a relative, or I went to a party with friends. Somehow a neighbor or other person asked how that was. We found out he was talking to these people as friends without them knowing what he was up to. So they were volunteering information in a harmless way. Our trash started being disturbed. Found out he was going through it and taking out things like billing statements, letters, and so on. This was before privacy and identity theft were an issue. In the single worst example, he had shown a letter I had written to a prospective girlfriend to a friend of his. I threw out my drafts and accidentally left it there. I just happened to see it when I was there, and the mutual friend told me that she thought the guy had it to proofread it for me. Humiliating. I noticed once I had my license I was being followed when I was out on the country roads and so on. Even through college, he did it on occasion when people in my hometown knew when I had gone dancing or at whatever nightclubs. So all in all, just be vigilant. If you ever feel like someone is following you, be it a stalker or a road rage person, do not go home. Go to a well-lit area or a manned police station. Shred everything you throw away if there's anything personal on it. Get a good cross-cut shredder that cuts into tiny pieces, and these days, call the police. They'll take it more seriously than they did in the past.
That's a good thing.
I've heard, like, if you're being stalked, you do, like, if you feel like you're being stalked and you're driving, you do, like, 4 right-hand turns. And if they follow you, obviously, like, they're following you, do a square, right? So then
Don't be such a square, Britain.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like she said, go to a police station, go to a well-lit area, something.
I immediately pull over and get ready to have a conversation.
Pull over, get out, and just throw your hands up. What?
What do you want? Because I get stalked all the time. All right.
I bet you do.
This one is from Polius2444.
Ooh, boy.
Ooh, boy. I'm a guy, used to be a bartender, working a shift one night and started chatting to this girl. What, is this going to be a girl stalker? She seemed nice enough, so I asked her out, and a couple of days later, we go on a very casual date. Pretty fucking casual. He came in with a tank top and was smoking, as casual as you can get.
The beer stains are hardly noticeable on this one.
Literally just met up for a cup of coffee and a chat. My next shift at the bar, she turns up, alone, and sits at the end of the bar. I'm just doing my job, starting having a laugh and a joke with one of the regulars, and Crazy storms over and starts full-blown screaming at the girl. Tells her to stop flirting with my boyfriend.
Oh, damn.
It nearly gets physical. The bouncers are already standing by to chuck her out. So, I tell Crazy that I'm not her boyfriend, that we've been on a single date that lasted an hour, and if that's how she was going to react when I just talked to another woman, especially when I'm just serving a customer, she can fuck off. She screams at me and storms off. Next day, I woke up with about 50 text messages, starting with, I'm sorry. Then, why aren't you answering?
Answer me.
Then a ton of abuse, and she apologizes for that, and the whole thing would start over with, again, from I'm sorry. I blocked her number. Next work shift, she comes in screaming into the bar, begging for forgiveness. Would you forgive her, Britton? Huh? You'd be like, it's okay.
It's okay.
That she's sorry. Please unblock her number. I tell her in no uncertain terms to fuck right off and to leave me alone. Screams, tears, and another storm off. Then a few nights later, I was going to bed, turn on my bedroom light, and my phone goes off. A text from a number I didn't recognize just says, good night.
Good
Oh my
God. That's not okay.
So creepy. I look out of my window. She's parked across the street watching my house.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
That went on for a week or two. Then the strangest part happened.
Wait, that wasn't the strangest part? This gets weirder? Dude. You just flip up the light. Good night. Tapping on the window.
I was at work, and she walked in, came to the bar, and told me she was there with her new boyfriend. I breathed a sigh of relief while pitying the poor fucker. Then her new boyfriend walked in. He was my fucking doppelganger. I mean, people could have mistook us for twins. Even worse, had the same glasses as I did. So, I was just standing there. I was in shock, and she introduced this guy to me as her ex. It's only funny looking back now, but the look on the guy's face when he met me was just pure, oh, fuck, she's insane.
Run, buddy.
So she makes a big deal of basically wrapping herself around him all night in front of me while he looked more and more uncomfortable.
He's looking over with like pity in his eyes. Like, help me.
Then at some point he leaves and she tries to get behind the bar crying hysterically that she was only dating him to make me jealous and she really loved me, not him.
He's like booking it out of the bar like, no.
The ending is pretty anticlimactic. I went to the police station and reported her. Being removed from the front of my house on another late night camping session by the police scared her into leaving me alone.
God damn.
Man.
That one was wild.
Oof.
I did not like the texting one.
Good night.
Good night.
It's so funny.
Lights out.
I'll be seeing you soon.
Sweet
What does that mean?
dreams.
You're gonna break in? Like, what is that? What does that fucking mean?
I'll help keep your bed nice.
Oh,
and
you'll
warm.
be seeing me soon.
Okay, this is from Milk Toast. When I had to kick out one of my bar regulars after he admits he was in love with me and made sexual comments towards me.
I really like how you pour that glass.
I'm in my mid-20s, and he's in his mid-50s. A little bit of an age gap there. He used to come in every other day and bring me flowers and gifts. One day, after he had a couple beers, he made a gross sexual comment towards me. I immediately grabbed my manager, but by the time we both came back to the bar, he was gone. The next day, flowers and an "I'm sorry" card showed up at the restaurant. The day after that, he showed up like nothing was wrong, and I had to pull him outside and tell him to take a break from coming in for a while. After this, he just lost it. 3 dozen flowers sent to the restaurant, posts on Facebook saying that he will never love anyone again, sending me crazy messages on Facebook telling me the same thing, messaging my close friends, leaving gift cards and cash, more flowers, candles, more cash. He called one of the other regulars saying he was going to kill himself. This regular called the restaurant demanding to speak with me and begging for my number.
What the fuck?
I wasn't there that day, and my manager refused to give my number, posting reviews on Yelp, Facebook, and
Good for
Google.
that manager, man.
Right? And Google about the restaurant getting kicked out. The last thing I received from Jim was one white rose and a card that just said, "Thank you," on Valentine's Day. There's a similar restaurant right down the street that he started to frequent after I kicked him out. Little did he know that I was friends with the bartenders over there. He would go into the restaurant and tell stories about getting kicked out and how a woman broke his heart, and then started bringing flowers to that restaurant, going to the restaurant every other night until they kicked him out for the same sexual comments. I guess old habits never die.
Man, some people are really cringe. All right, this one is from I'm Listening To. Kind of seems stalkerish, but
that fits this thread.
yeah, let's read it.
I'm listening to.
When I found him hiding in my roommate's room, we had just recently broken up, and I had a friend over. Apparently, he drove by my house and didn't recognize the car parked in the driveway, so he parked his car down the road and snuck in through my roommate's window. Jesus. Yeah, that's murder vibes. All right, I have no idea how long he had been hiding in my house or what his plans were. Like, straight up, like...
Well, they're not good.
They were good. It scared the shit
He
out of me.
just wanted to come in and do my dishes is all.
I want to make sure you're okay.
My counters were sparkling clean.
He doesn't.
He vacuumed. I'm the dish fairy.
Get out of here.
Who does dishes at 5 a.m.? What the fuck are you doing? Sparkle, sparkle.
When I found him hiding behind the door, he didn't hurt me or say much. He just quickly walked out of the house. I mean,
scuttles out of the house real quickly. Oops, sorry.
It's all right. This isn't where I parked my car.
This isn't my house.
Oh, God. I immediately moved out of town. I didn't sleep for about a month, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
Because I was so afraid he'd come back. 10 years later, and still a bit jumpy when I'm surprised by people. It's still pretty embarrassing.
No, it's not. That's 100%. You are allowed to feel that way. 100%. This is from TK Wazer. I used to work at a convenience store on third shift. A man used to come in every night, and I was just being friendly because you have to be with customers. I'd talk to him, was never flirty, listened to his ramblings about his job, and made his food. Well, one day he decided to leave a note on my car with his name and number, telling me to call one time. I thought it was fucking weird that he knew which car was mine since I worked with the same few people every night. So I ignored his note, told my coworker if he came in to let him know I had gone out in the back. Well, he came in and asked for me, and they told him I wasn't there. I don't think he believed my coworker because he waited in his car for 5 hours.
You imagine if he leaves a note, and on the note on the car is just a map to her house.
Holy Lord. It's like a print out of Google Maps or something.
Like, you're here, your home is here.
X marks the spot.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. So 5 hours until I got off work. He didn't even get out of his car, but he watched me get into mine and leave. I didn't see him following me, so I thought I was okay. Well, a week later, I'm about to go to sleep for work, and I look out my second-story window at my house because I heard a noise, and there he fucking is, staring at me from below. It freaked me the fuck out. I thought I was gonna die. So I closed my curtains, warned my husband, and took some melatonin so I could sleep. No, you don't just take melatonin so you can sleep.
I drank a gallon of melatonin.
I've never ingested so much NyQuil. He came to my job again 2 days later, and I didn't see him because I was warned. Eventually, he did stop coming in to find me after I ignored him the entire time. That was one of the scariest times of my life.
This one is from Deleted. I went out with a man for 5 years. During that time, we were long distance for 2. He introduced me to two of his best friends, and I spent nearly all my college years talking to them online. Both of them died very young. One died from a drunk driving crash in which he was in the other vehicle. He died at the scene. The other committed suicide when his wife and child died in labor. Oof.
Eesh.
My boyfriend and I were devastated. I held him for years while he cried furiously into his pillow.
Jesus
Every
Christ.
year, right, on their birthdays, I looked up into the sky and did that sappy thing where you think of only of them. I had one tiny moment in which I wondered if my boyfriend was pretending to be with them online so he could spy on me while I was in college and make sure I didn't cheat on him. I felt extremely guilty for this and immediately dismissed it. It's been 10 years since my boyfriend and I broke up, and today I found one of his deceased friends online. He told me via LinkedIn Messenger that he hadn't spoken to my boyfriend since before we met, that their friendship ended in high school. My boyfriend stalked me and pretended to be more than one person, and I didn't know it until today. What?
Jesus Christ, man. All right, this is from Spagata111. Someone on Facebook did not like a comment that I wrote on a news page. Uh-oh. It was an article about making teachers go through training to not have sex with their students.
I thought it was about ideas and pornography, or IDs and pornography.
Yeah. We can't watch Pornhub in Utah. I made some stupid comment like, oh, really? Now you're going to give people ideas they haven't thought of before. I forget the actual verbatim. One guy decides to find out where I live, where I work, and my previous workplaces, and tells them that I may be a liability to their image.
Oh, God, I hate you call that cancel culture, huh?
He told my current employer that I am slandering local teachers, but I never slandered anybody. Keep in mind that I don't keep employment information on my Facebook. I also don't even have my full name on Facebook. In fact, my full name is very distinct, so I actually removed my last name and just replaced it with something else, so it's more of a Jane Doe situation. So this guy had to dig deep to figure out where I lived and worked. I have no idea how he figured me out. I'm telling you, man, those people will go to great lengths to find you.
Yeah, they're crazy people.
This isn't as bad as some of the other stories here, but having someone go to the lengths they did in an attempt to get me in trouble or look bad to my current and previous employers, that sinking feeling I will never forget. Thankfully, I didn't get in any trouble with work, and I nipped that in the bud very quickly. I still get paranoid about some of the comments I have posted on Facebook or Reddit, and that some maniac is going to find out where I work and make some wild accusation about me.
Interesting.
Social media.
All right, this one is from Monkey Meeks. When I was 18 and living with my boyfriend, we used to go take care of his great-grandmother, who had very advanced Alzheimer's, at her house. This was when everyone had cell phones but hadn't gotten rid of their landlines yet. My biological father, who lived on the opposite side of the country, and who I haven't seen since I was 3 years old, called me on my great-grandmother's landline shortly after I arrived there. I was shocked and eventually got him to confess that he had a private investigator following me.
Whoa.
I was pretty shaken up over it. It's really nothing compared to the rest of the thread, but it freaked me out and made me really paranoid for a while.
Yeah, I would have bet. Those private investigators, dude, do not go away. This comes from Acting Lead. So I went on a few dates with this one guy, like 2 or 3. Not many, nothing serious. We talked about how we wanted something more long-term, but I was dealing with other issues at the moment and realized that while I did want to date, I didn't really want a long-term solution. So instead of leading him on, I just broke things off. He was pissed and got crazy fast, sending me threatening texts nonstop. He asked a few of my friends who thought we were still dating and got my address. I live on the first floor of an apartment building, so he would knock on my window from my bedroom. I blocked his number and I tried to tell the police, but they didn't take me seriously because I'm a guy, and I could take him if needed. I wasn't even in a financial position and was stuck in a lease where I couldn't move either. Eventually, he just quit after around 2 months, until I went back onto a different app that I didn't know he used, and he started up again for a week. Now I can't take even serious boyfriends or friends to where I live, and I'm very protective of telling those where I live as well. And I now have blackout curtains on all my windows because it makes me feel safe.
You know, if I were them, I would find a way to get anonymous bear traps and just put it by your window. Dude, I don't know who put it there.
It's just anonymousbeartraps.com. Yeah. It's a thing. They'll just come and set it up overnight.
I need to anonymously buy a bear trap online, please.
.com.
Oh, God.
Dude, I would not doubt the existence somewhere. Someone just shows up. He's like, all right, I'll be out there between 2 or 3 a.m. I'll set the bear trap up. Just be careful where you walk.
Dude, what would you do if there's just some creepy dude outside your window at night just
Bear
staring
trap.
in? Yeah.
No, you're onto it.
Bear trap.
You are onto it. I would definitely put a bear trap.
Put that there. I swear to God.
I just paid someone to do it.
My home insurance will cover this.
Your ankle doesn't look so good, man.
This one is from Mason 50001.
It's a lot of zeros.
I'm a guy with a guy stalker who still stalks me. There's a lot of stock in that
That's
sentence.
a lot of stock. I'm a guy with the guy stalker who stalks and stalks me. And stalkingly, it's stalkerish.
I realized I was being stalked the day I started getting friends requests constantly from the same dude on everything after having blocked him. It might sound dumb, but this guy is dedicated. He won't stop telling me he loves me even after being told I don't feel the same and has tried some stuff in the past. He has followed me around since middle school and won't stop. Damn. At this point, I'm considering a restraining order because I don't trust him to not find my house again now that we have moved once again.
A restraining order is 100% the right direction. Or a bear trap.
Right.
I think a bear trap is the best kind of
bear traps
deterrent for stalkers.
Edit. Gonna add some more info.
Oh.
He even said he'd get a sex change for me because I didn't let him know that I was bi since I felt like it would give his hopes up.
Damn.
One day in middle school, he tried to force himself on me on a public bus. Jesus. No. I kicked him out of the seat and had a huge anxiety attack. This girl yelled at me about why can't he sit next to you? Like, bitch, mind your business.
Do you know what happened?
And I blurted out some gibberish about how I hate him. And she called me childish. Who is this girl? Because I was too panicked to call out the truth.
He can sit wherever he wants.
I can't trust this guy. I'm so scared he's going to try to show up at my house and expect me to be all happy that he is around. That is...
Dude, that's nuts.
Like, psychologically scarring for a child.
Okay, this comes from Deleted. When she came up to me and addressed me by my name and asked if I remember her from New Jersey. It'd be weird. Can you imagine someone come up to you right now and be like, hey, do you remember from New Jersey? And you're like, never been.
No, they go like, hey, you remember me from New Jersey?
Hey, you remember me from Jersey?
Yeah.
Khakis?
We were at the tanning place.
We were both in Canada. I live in Canada. I had never been to New Jersey. Full story. I was 13 and by some playground with some friends, and some random girl approaches me and asks me in an unsettling way if I remembered her. She told me she knew me, so I asked her what my name is. She answers me and tells me my sister's name as well. Then she asked me if I remember her from New Jersey. By now, me and my friends were really creeped out. Something looked unsettling about the girl. She was staring the entire time we talked. Well, then the girl's mother approaches us and explains everything. Apparently the girl attended the same school as us, but suffered from brain trauma. Oh, damn.
That's sad.
She has been off of school for a year and spent a lot of time looking through the school's yearbooks and had taken a liking to me. Her belief that she knew me from New Jersey was because of her brain injury. She used to live in New Jersey and had confused her memories. Sad story, but really creepy to 13-year-old me. That's actually kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. This one is from To Be Unfound. I see this really annoying girl that would not leave me alone in the hall of my high school, and I quickly walked into the boys' bathroom. All of a sudden, she walks in and says hi to me like it's an average thing to bust into the boys' bathroom and casually start a conversation. Obviously, that's when I knew something wasn't right. After she started taking the same bus as me, 90% sure she didn't live near me, and knew what classes I was in during the day to be close with me when I left them. Eventually, I made the most dumb excuse ever, and it worked. I said something about how she doesn't treat me like a human. I don't know. I was making things up on the spot and needed a break.
What else? You don't treat me like a human. Is that it? What kind of insult is that?
It's not even an insult. Just, you don't treat me like a human. I'd really appreciate it if you fuck off.
I've never heard this in my entire life. You know what? You don't treat me like a human.
So she was like, okay, how long of a break? A year? I was so surprised, basically saying, fuck, yes, a year, knowing she was graduating this year. Oh my God, never talk to her again.
I can't even.
You know what? You don't treat me like a human. Oh, okay, well,
what do you say to that? What do you say to that?
See you in a year.
Okay, this comes from Timpano Drops. I ran into this cute guy at a school, and we became buds. He was cool and all, but we were just friends. I got friend zoned. Then I started to see him more often around campus.
You know how you get out of the friend zone? Stalk. I'm just kidding.
Stop treating him like a human. That's
You
how.
stalk him. It's like, you look so cute when you're asleep.
Your little snores are so cute. You do this thing with your foot.
Right around 3 a.m., you kind of get lighter. It's weird, you know?
And like 4:30 every night, you sneeze. It's cute. It's adorable. Again, it was just the, hey, man, how are you doing? Good. Cool kind of relationship. I thought it was just that phenomenon where after seeing or hearing something, you begin to see it everywhere. I started thinking something was up a few months later when I started seeing him after every single class. Like I walked out of my class, and there he was. I joked it off and thought I was just being paranoid. The real turn was when he showed up at my house. I was at home and heard a knock on my door. I answered the door, and there he was. I was like, hey, man. He just kind of looked at me and in my house. He just kind of looked around me and into my house and was like, so you do live here? I thought I saw you while I was walking my dog last week and wanted to see if it was you. Problem is, I live in the next town over. Sure enough, I started to see him outside my house daily, jogging, listening to music, walking his dog. I did know he had a dog. So I started crashing at my friend's house. Took about 2 days for me to see him outside. Jeez.
See, what I did is I put a little tracker inside your skull when you were asleep.
That's when I knew for sure he was creeping. It was scary. I had to catch him in the act, so I set 3 cameras up in my house.
What kind of budget does this high schooler have?
Dude, the budgets on all of these are crazy. I installed a mechanism that locked my house down. It's like Fort Knox.
That's when I bought an AK-47 off the dark web. All right, go ahead.
The next morning, I checked the footage and I saw him enter my house. Oh, God. I know that my front door was locked. God, it was terrifying. I could tell by the way he opened the door and quietly shut it and walked that this was not his first time. He went into my living room and sat on my couch, then proceeded to please himself. Oh. I was in the house asleep.
What does that mean? Like he made himself a sandwich? I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Yeah, he was just trying to make himself
A little
happy.
bologna sandwich with
So he
mayo.
went to
Extra mayo.
poured himself some lemonade.
Yeah.
He spilled all over the couch. It was like it's all
Oh
sticky.
no! All this mayo just went on the couch while I was making my sandwich.
She's like, man, this couch is sticky. It must be all the mayonnaise. I was in the house asleep. I was naive enough to think that it would be fine. To watch someone do that while you were asleep 30 feet away is shocking. I called the police and he got suspended from school. That's it?
I just don't
Breaking
know.
and entering and making
story
a sandwich on the couch?
seems fake. I don't know. Hopefully, like he got charged. Like you can't just break into someone's house and
Make some food.
spray on the couch some mayo. And
Spread some mayo everywhere, yeah. He later said that the day he came over and knocked on my door that he left my bathroom window cracked, snuck in, and made a copy of my house key at Walmart. He didn't know what was the right key, so he copied all of my keys. I only had 10, but fuck, he came over 47 times in 2 months. Good God. Oh, and it says edit. Yes, I took this to the police and he got arrested.
Okay, all right. This one is from Minotaur. I had so many stalkers. That's what it says. The really scary one was in college when I met my stalker the first day of freshman year. At first, I didn't think much of it. I am a pretty routine person, so I always ate dinner at 6 p.m. at school. I always take my dinner to go and eat it in my room. And he always at the dining hall when I am there. That's what it says. I didn't think much of it at the time since it's a small school and we might both be routine people. Until one day, I had a class that ran late. Professor doubled up on a 3-hour art class since the following class was canceled. I think I got dinner around 9 p.m. He came running up to me and told me that he'd been waiting for 3 hours.
Good Lord.
I started to go at random times after that and started to hear that he just shows up at the beginning of dinner service and leaves at the closing or after he sees me. He waited outside my dorm building to catch me when I go to class/dining hall and stands underneath my window to see if I am in my room. This is like written weird.
What?
I don't fucking know.
If he, I, /
Yeah. He tried to sneak up to my floor and invite himself into my room.
Wanted to make a sandwich on my mattress.
He followed me to the library, and he tried to corner me. So I guess she's just had a lot of stalkers through her life.
Damn. All right, this one's from. Oh, jeez, Rick. Oh man, mine is a long, crazy story, but it's actually just
not that long.
Just really not
It's
that
like
long.
a medium story
That haunts me and still terrifies me to this day. It all started with random girls in my mailbox. I got my first gift in my mailbox, and it was a t-shirt with the word queen on back and a note that said, "You are my queen, and when you see me, you will know I'm your king." So about 7 gifts and notes later, I started to get scared because at first I thought it was a joke or a crush and someone would come along and admit to it. But no one ever did. Even after I was scared and begging people to just let me know if it was them to ease my mind, nobody did. I started feeling very, very paranoid and got the police involved. Well, to make a very long story short, they caught the guy and found out he was a maintenance man at my apartment who has had trouble with this in the past and keys to my apartment and mailbox. Well, they searched his apartment and found hundreds of pictures of me everywhere. Working, walking to my car, driving, dropping my kids off at school, sleeping in my own bed, my kids, me just doing everyday things. Along with the pictures, they found a room he was trying to soundproof. Torturing devices, sex toys, drugs that would keep me awake and coherent, but unable to move. He got arrested.
What drugs are those? I need a list if you're going to say that.
He got arrested for stalking, breaking and entering, and harassment. But after months and months of this, I was terrified of everything. I got alarm systems, says restating order, but restraining order, a gun. Well, eventually he got out of jail, and the very first day he got out, he sent me a text in great detail of how he was going to rape, kill, and torture me. Needles to say, yeah, it says needles, he got arrested again. It's been years, and I still cannot be alone.
If someone did that to me, I'd text him back and be like, "You're a subpar maintenance man." Can you imagine that?
You're attacking his profession.
You send like these horrible messages, and that's what they write you back.
You are not a good maintenance man.
Like, you're not even average. You're on the bottom 20% of your professional. Like,
send me your license, you bastard.
Piece of shit.
That's hilarious.
All right. This one is from Throwaway02468. The random text from an unknown numbers at 3 a.m., usually telling me something I'd done with my ex-boyfriend, some weird sex stuff we did, saying he knew where my vibrator was hidden and that he'd tell everyone.
Isn't it just always in the bedside table?
Yeah. That's where mine is.
I mean, that's where I keep mine. It's
It's
nice and easy within reach. Like,
very good access.
Wow, good guess. I know where your vibrator is. It's where 98% of people keep it. You fucking idiot.
At the time, I was a very devout Catholic.
Oh.
And if my family knew I had sex, so I blocked all the numbers on my phone and the home phone and told my family that there was some troll at school doing this to girls at school to just ignore it. Untrue, lol. Then the messages came. My Facebook and my school email from anonymous sources, never with legit names or anything. I didn't realize it was my ex doing this until he sent me pictures of his dick saying, "You'll never have this." I can't. "You'll never have anything this big." And then it says in parentheses, he was just average. Until then, I thought it was one of his friends or something.
Oh my God, this is the best one.
Never this big.
You'll never have anything this big.
5 inches, man.
He sends it with a Tic Tac for comparison.
Lord. He lived like 5 minutes away from me and knew where our apartment was and what window was my bedroom. So he'd send me pictures of the outside of my window at different times. In some pictures, the lights were on. In some, I was in the window. He even sent me pictures of my mom leaving the parking garage. It wasn't like he was sneaking around. It's New York City, and everything is pretty public, but it's still horrifying as a 15-year-old.
All right, well, that is going to wrap us up this evening or afternoon. This is like the earliest we've ever recorded in our entire life. So thank you again for joining us here. That's going to wrap us up for tonight. But just a reminder, if you do want to support the show, we do have our Buzzsprout subscription service that we'll throw the link down below. Thank you to our subscribers now, Mothman, Devin, Conklin family, Haley, and Lou. We really appreciate every single one of you for supporting us. And if you want to just understand, our shows will always be free. Our episodes will always be free to listen to, but your contributions will help us add more content as we go forward. We do want to add video sometime very soon.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe, as it really helps us get us out there. And as always, thank you for entering the abyss.
Until next time.